Welcome back, Truck Sim fans. You join us in part 3 of our 3-part series about what we can find over the border in Texas. Even though the DLC is not yet released, we're going to go from here, from Las Cruces, down to this little piece of road. It can't find a route there because obviously there is no road so far, but it lets me set the destination. Let's set off. I've actually moved myself just a little bit beyond, as you can see in the map at the foot of the screen, beyond the point where the no-drive barriers are on that particular highway. For those of you who've been through Las Cruces before, you know what I mean. So we're going to go up here and see what's going on. What signs do we have? Well, the road is quite well finished off, as it has been in other parts of our journey through the state of Texas. Don't worry about that, there's plenty of reserve fuel in this truck. So, what do we see? Okay, we're coming up to a turn-off. Anthony? How would you pronounce that? Oh, no. Right, this is annoying. This is one of those invisible barriers that's not actually got a marker on. I haven't turned them off. Like I said in the previous video, it is an option. I'll just use the teleport to go beyond it, but let's check the map first to see whereabouts we're going to go. If we take an aerial ride above the route that we're going to travel, we can see a rather large highway going down there, and the town over to the side. I presume, looking at the real map, that that's El Paso. Yep, there we go, Schuster Avenue, and then we're off to El Paso. So let's pull up alongside that sign and set off. Checking the mirrors. There's a truck and a car. I'll need to pull onto the highway soon. Let's have a look. Oh, the truck is not moving back, but the car did. Right, we're okay. And let's speed this up a little bit. It's just a freeway, really. There's a few junctions off the side there. Obviously, there's no map to help me. The nav screen is blank. Can I go off here though? Maybe I can get into the town. I know I need to be in the town. No, not yet. I need to be inside that town somewhere. Excuse me, officer. I'll just use the yellow bit of the road there. We're coming up to a point here where we've got a turn off towards the Mexican border. So presumably to our right here there is the road to the checkpoints and other parts of the border infrastructure. To our left though is an interesting place. I'm going to bring up a view from Google Street Maps. And this particular piece of highlighted road is actually the one I'm aiming for. You can see it there, the grey bit that's coming up out of what looks like a storm flood, a pond of some sort, next to a cemetery. So that road there which we see is our destination. Believe it or not, that particular piece of road was the piece that they chose to put on the map ahead of the DLC being released. Bizarre, isn't it? It's more of a trail than a road, but there it is. We have to drive it. Let's see if we can get up off the highway somewhere down here to see if we can take a journey back towards that building site or maintenance area for the storm ponds. I don't think there's any actual way off this highway, so I'm going to go and stop here and take another look. Maybe this highway, actually, we've come down from Las Cruces, maybe the highway ahead will end up going to Alamogordo. Right, let's try and make that our destination towards the end of the video. For now, let's put the teleport camera on and see what's going on. Look at this. You know, if you're a structural engineer, I know a few structural engineers. I used to be a building services engineer, but look at those concrete piling there. That's something to behold, isn't it? So, we're flying back towards that one piece of road, as you can see on the map that I've got on the foot of the screen there. It is that piece of road, definitely. I've just flown over it, having a look around the town, seeing where the freeway goes up there. There are quite a few areas that are already populated, this being El Paso. It's quite a large city. If you look it up on the map, that cemetery to the side of us, by the way, is called the Concordia Cemetery. I found that on the real map as well, which you could have seen on that picture that I showed earlier. Here we go then, let's drop the truck here and drive up this one small piece of road. Remember, we're still on 99.99% roads covered before I drive up this one. Now it's painted yellow, we've done it. Let's go ahead. In real life, we're actually pulling out of this area, this maintenance area for these, I'm going to keep calling them storm ponds for the freeway. The gateway ahead there, actually on the real cemetery, has got Concordia split over 2 gates, and we're now driving onto what is North Boone Street, running alongside the Concordia Cemetery, and up ahead of us is Yandell Drive. Isn't a map a wonderful thing? And actually the accuracy of the SCS team in putting these things together means that we can actually place things even though they're not at the correct scale. Yep, what happened to the wall? Let me just go back and check. Yep, there's a spawn issue for the entire wall there, it just disappears. In real life, by the way, that wall is not that tall. The wall at the edge of the cemetery blocking away the view there. Might do that for a car, but it wouldn't do it for a truck. Now we're going to be pulling around the corner here onto what I think is Gateway North Boulevard. We need to try and get back onto the freeway. The freeway is US 54. Okay, there's a slip road ahead. I need to be in the right hand lane there and go up through the traffic lights there and up onto the freeway. So we ought to be heading back towards Alamogordo now. Oh no, the road is not complete, as you can see by the cars disappearing. Now look ahead of us, that thin strip of land on the horizon is actually where we want to be. So if we follow our nose, as it were, that's roughly up there. I'm going to have to use the teleport quick fly to get across that gap. Let's go and have a look and see if we can find out where the other end of this missing piece of highway is. There it is. So look at all this scenery. Let's land again. I'm assuming this is going to be US 54. Let's have a look. There's a sign ahead. Let's see what we've got on that sign. Nice view of the underside of the truck. Yep, there you go. Alamogordo. Some distance ahead. Time to get the foot down. And actually to compare the scenery. If you remember on the second video I was comparing the scenery in the Texan side of things over by the Guadalupe Peak. The planting and the geology and so on was actually a little bit more full than this. Maybe that's reflected in real life, who knows. It is a little bit barren around here, sparse vegetation and so on. Again, even though we're not in Texas, we're now back over the border. We still have no map because the road is not officially here. The only thing the sat-nav is giving us is a speed limit, which I'm ignoring. Sorry folks, I tend to drive normally around about the speed limit, but there we go. Now this looks like it would be one of those cargo checking points where they would either do a way station or an agricultural check. Say hi to everybody there. Keep going ahead, it's starting to look a little bit more populated ahead of us, I think. Recognising some of the different plantation. This is quite a nice freeway though. It does look like it's going right back into Alamogordo though. Hopefully, there we go, we can start seeing the map now on our sat-nav display. But I'm going to leave that here, because we've come again to one of those no-go barriers. Beyond it is Alamogordo. So in these 3 videos, we've managed to go from this 99.9% with a few grey bits dotted around, to this, a 100% with all those grey bits complete. So my idea that this was stopping me from getting to 100% was right. Anyway, thanks for watching.